Hi everyone, it's Clay, Director of Video here at STEEZY, and today we have special guest,
Kiel Tutin. Hi everyone, I'm a choreographer, dancer from New Zealand, and now I'm here.
We're super excited to have Kiel because he has choreographed so many iconic choreographies for K-pop artists and other artists, not just K-pop. All right, let's get into it. Okay, we'll start with Twice, I Can't Stop Me. Did you choreograph this completely yourself or with someone else?
A lot of the time, the companies will get different choreographers to do it, so I'll submit all of mine and then hopefully majority gets used. So yes, for this one. I made, I think, 4 different versions of the chorus, but then it ended up an amalgamation of the first one that I did because it was meant to be the first one that we did.
Love that.
So it's always like trying to find new ways to highlight people and get them center and highlight them on the side, and it's creating new pictures every time because there's obviously 9 of them in the group, and the company wants us to like try and create these new and exciting visuals every time.
Is that why you do so much like linking and like?
For sure, I mean, it really pulls from like my crew background of interconnecting and visuals and pictures, and it works so well for them and they execute it so well.
Why is it this handleable?
Memorable movements is, I guess, the main thing that is in every email that I receive. For this one, it was about feeling restricted or feeling like you couldn't help yourself, so it was a way to be like, no, I can't stop myself. So I don't know, that's where that came from.
Nice, I love that.
Say there's like a post-chorus like this or a hook.
Yeah.
I might do like 3 different ones, and then they'll kind of pick one they like, and we're like, well, that one's memorable, so let's repeat it 3 times.
Ooh. Whoa.
It's fun with them because you can break them up and give them.
There's a lot to work with.
Yeah, there's so much, and the Twice girls are like probably like one of the cleanest groups in the industry, and especially in the recent years they've matured and they're taking on like this new mature image, and they're quite womanly. So it's cool to put that mature movement on them.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I remember the, what was it? I like you or something. Yeah. So this does feel very different.
Yes.
Oh, so cute.
This little hip move everyone loved.
Yeah, oh, that's so fun. It's so memorable.
Choreography comes out of like a joke.
Yeah, you're just hanging out, you're like, oh, wouldn't that be funny?
Yeah, and one of my dancers, Leilani, she was just doing this hip groove and like having some fun, and we were like, look at that, let's add a hand in it and make it a thing. And
iconic.
Yeah.
You obviously made a pose that is a flower. Did they build the set around that?
Those are the things that I never know and can only assume. Different groups have different time periods, like from when I'll receive it to when the song's released.
Okay.
Very much it could be like, they were like, oh, that looks like this, so let's now build the set, or like make the creative for the video around the choreography.
Oh, that's cool. Yes. Ooh, tap, walk. This feels like the end of like every like crew performance. You know, you have to do something, boom, face back, boom, drop hat, you know?
Things like ending pictures, for me, they're like such a big part. So if I can always like refer back to the start or give them some new ending picture, I think it's, because those are like the screenshots that you like take at the end of the performance, and you know, like those kind of things.
Jennie solo choreography. Unedited version.
There's intro choreography by Kyle Hanagami, and then there's some little bits at the end that I think Jennie had a say in herself, which is pretty cool. But the rest of it is mine. I was in Beijing, and I was rehearsing with these dancers, and it came out like 12 hours before, and then I like saw someone in the corner doing it, and I was like, what? I was like, it's been like 12 hours, like what is this? And just, that was a really strange moment for me.
That's interesting.
It's just so simple, like it's just a hip rock, but everyone loved it.
But you know what? It's not just about the hip rock. It's that boom drop. There's something about that that's just so satisfying. Nice. Simple repeat in the right moment. How often are you landing on that like hand motif and you're just like, this is it, this is every time in the dance?
I need more fingers because so much of K-pop is obviously those iconic and memorable moment, and if you're thinking about on a camera and you're in a frame, you can't get your foot in the frame easily. So like something around the face where you can see the artist singing the words is generally what happens. So there's only a finite amount of things that you can do around the head, so it's been trying to find new things every time.
I ain't got no time for the
Back to the seats.
Tap my money looking at meet myself and I'ma do it on my own now.
So that's like a little, I guess, technique. If you think of like choruses are generally repeated, but pre-choruses sometimes can be repeated in a different way. So in the first time, it was all like centered, and then they like made a picture and did the drag around her arms, and then for the second pre-chorus, we like pushed it to the side, and then they all did it like this way. So it like looks different, but it's
So
the same choreography basically. So,
and I think it's something about that a lot of beginner dancers can learn from is how to vary a single move, because I think a lot of times they'll watch their favorite dancers and they'll be like, it's unlimited, and they don't realize like, no, it's very limited. They just know how to use what's in the limits in many different ways. So. Nice, good head.
we were talking about like being confident by yourself, or like go away, don't need your energy. So maybe like I think that's where it came from. Like I'm coming in, I'm pushing you away, and then it was like, okay, now I'll do that 3 times fast. And you know that.
Got it.
Yeah. And this section that's in this bridge was actually my intro choreography. It's a similar beat, so they were like, boop.
That makes sense.
It works there, yeah.
Now I'm going slow.
Oh! Oh, really strong there?
Yeah. I don't think I've told anyone this before, but in the demo that I received, it was the 3rd time was Bichnan and solo again. But we had this like end choreography that we did, and we like filmed it as the main part of the thing. And then we had like 5 minutes left, and I was like, oh girls, can we just try something else? Jess, who is my girl that stands in for Jennie, just did this slow motion part, and then we did this part, which is in the video, and we just did it in like 5 minutes, and we're like, do a slow-mo. And I'd like to think that that's what made the lyric change of like, now I'm going slow-mo.
Oh.
Because it wasn't in the version that I received. And then we did the slow-mo, and then said the slow-mo. Cool. I'll check with Jennie, but
check in.
Hopefully, because that would be cool.
Call her out. Okay, so we're watching the XOXO dance practice.
Yes, so this was myself and Lee Jung Lee, who, we do a lot of collabs together, if you will. As in, I do mine and she does hers, and they get put together. But yeah, she's awesome, and I love her stuff.
And then the like devil horns?
I think those are Lee Jung's devil horns.
Damn.
Hey.
Oh, that was sharp. Oh, I like this version of this dance practice a lot. Cute. I love that release right there. That's like so satisfying to me.
Musically, yeah. It feels nice. Boom, boom, boom.
Because I just feel like the average dancer's gonna boom, boom. They're gonna hit it and just boom, feels so satisfying, different. It is so satisfying.
Yeah, and she says something like, don't call me a B word, your girl, she's the B word. So that's where like this like aggressive little pointy head came from.
I love that bounce. Honestly, it's very satisfying.
That's Lee Jung's little moment.
I love it.
And it's so different working with creating pieces for solo artists versus like a group like Twice, where there's like 9 of them. A solo artist is mainly in the center the whole time.
That's true.
And it's about making the backup dancers frame them and take them places, but the focus is always on the one person.
What do you think some of her strengths are that you were able to lean into?
I mean, she's a great dancer. I had to make new stuff up on the spot because we just like got through it so quickly, and I was like, what is this?
That's kind of, Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she says Vishnu in solo, which is a reference to Jennie.
Oh, that's so fun.
We couldn't not do it.
That's super cool.
Yes.
That makes me happy. That part made me laugh every single time. Bitch!
Boom.
You know?
That's Lee Jung, that moment. But I think it's, like, I cut you off, like half that you gave me, so it's like cutting off it into halves.
This bounce and then this tap tap. I just feel like, oh, there's not enough here, personally, right? And then you add the tap tap, you're like, oh, this feels just about right now, right?
Newer songs, there's a lot that's being catered for TikTok, catered for K-pop fans. You're trying to do the simple one in the chorus because that's the part that everyone needs to learn.
Yeah.
So then you have to compensate for that in like the verses sometimes because otherwise the whole thing's going to be kind of simple and you don't want that because you want to show off the artist's talents.
Blackpink, Lovesick Girls Dance Practice. Fun.
From what we were talking about with like a solo artist to a 9, then Blackpink are completely different because it's 4.
There's no center properly either.
No, you don't want to cover someone up all the time either. So like, I think a favorite is the shifted diamond.
Yeah.
And I think there's something so powerful about just like girls and women standing in a straight line. One thing that's cool about this chorus, I think, and I didn't do it intentionally, so it goes like 2 switch and then the middle 2 switch and the outside 2 and then they do this and it was, someone commented like it, and they were like, the formation never stops moving and I was like, huh, go me.
Man, they're really moving. Nice.
It's always great to intentionally move back in a routine because so often you start at the back of the studio and then you find yourself like at the front, out of the camera lens, and you're like, can we not? So it was a good opportunity to take it back dramatically.
I'm sure it's
well.
good for stage performances too. I love being able to actually use the stage and not have you fall off.
Yes.
Woo, bleed through. Oh, forward back. Cute.
It's fun as well because it challenges my creativity to find new things for 4 people to do, and like, how do we get you here in an interesting way? Like, let's rotate around you, or let's do something new. And
it is interesting because a lot of the positions, formations are actually very similar, like throughout the whole thing. But the most interesting part is the moving. It is the in between. I think it's something that, especially beginner dancers, they often fail to see how important in-betweens are, not just from formations, but moves, right?
Yeah.
That in-between texture, that motion in between, it's just so important to selling a really good move or making variations, as we talked about earlier.
Getting to the spot or getting to the move can be simple, or you can make it interesting. And if you make them all really simple, then they're gonna look, your textures and your flows are gonna look the same. But if you find the new pathways, the new transitions, the new sections of your body to flow through, you can start to make it different and interesting. So this was the last thing that I did before New Zealand went into lockdown. We filmed it like 2 days before, sent it all across with my girls in New Zealand. It was a different kind of number for Twice. The song's different. It's a bit more, would you say, like tropical housey? And I think they've publicly said that this is the hardest one that they've done. So while it looks great, I feel for them because we don't want it to be too horrible. And obviously, as you do something more and more, it gets easier, and you learn how to edit your body so that it doesn't become as physically taxing every time. So this is myself and Lee Jung-mi again.
Ooh, that fun 9.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh my gosh. Oh man, okay, yeah, this is very different. Whoa. Wow. Okay.
This was my last chorus that from
just
the
keeps
demo.
happening.
Yeah, I must do, like, my best ones must be the last chorus, always. I mean, the song's about one more time, more, can't stop, never enough. So it's like, gimme, gimme, gimme.
Yeah.
So how can we do that in a way that's not been
Interesting.
done before? Like, what about here, and what about here, and yeah.
Nice. That's not a comfortable position. Oh! Hey! Love that. That one person.
I knew as I was making this part, I was like, I'm gonna love this part because it's a new picture. We do this little like snake thing. Where is it? Little snake. I was like, they're gonna love that.
They're gonna love it?
Sometimes I do whole songs and I'm like, I don't know if they're gonna like that.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I'm like, that's the one, or like that section, there's no way that they won't. And then sometimes they don't, you know? You know, so you never keep me on my toes.
It sounds like it should be a certain way, but I see that you and the other choreographers are softening certain moves. Because a lot of the beats that I hear in these K-pop songs they're really hard beats. Like those are the catchy ones. And yet choreography-wise, you can't always be making everyone like, you know, like look like they're crumping, you know?
Sure. As dancers, we think like the music and the beats, but the most important thing to them is the words,
Yeah,
what they're singing. So it's important to help them perform
absolutely.
as artists as well.
Yeah, it's the invisible art and invisible work that goes behind this.
Yeah.
It's like you can't just choreograph and be like,
For sure.
there's a lot of things you have to be thoughtful about. All right, Rosé, on the ground, dance performance.
Upon the company's request and on my execution, it wasn't about her being a dancer.
Okay.
She proved that in like her Blackpink performances. This was about her being the superstar. Can we do something that's gonna be different? I was like with my camera and I was like, we could do angles. We could do the first one. I don't have a crane, so I had my tripod out and I was filming it like this. We're like, let's do one with a top view. Let's do the second chorus with a ground view. Let's do the second one looking
Basically like directed it.
But yeah, for sure. So to give it something different on the whim that hopefully they might use it, and they obviously did and loved it, so.
Oh! I love that. Nice!
You know, like
Oh,
we
the leg.
had to do something different.
Oh, that's so fun. Whoa. Oh, is that some of the same choreo?
Yeah, so.
Sitting up,
Yeah,
down.
so it was trying to create, a motif when you're not dancing, when you're doing ground stuff. So we have the like, nah, but they don't hear me though, which is like, I guess, our version of a groove in whatever situation that you're in. And then they do it later, properly.
Nice.
Doom.
Wow! That was a fun track. Whoa! Purposefully powerful, like one arm controlling everything.
Yeah, yes. Sometimes I think it can feel a bit much.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like a cop-out, like
Yeah.
I'm just gonna control the whole thing. But it's a great technique to like make an artist look powerful.
Yeah.
And like, I'm in control.
Lisa, Money, dance practice. We did a video reaction to the music video before, so I'm really excited because that was
Got it.
probably one of my favorite things I've just seen in a really, really long time.
Cool.
Spend this track, everything on me. Yeah, I'ma tip myself. I'ma spend it on myself. I'ma drop it like it's pouring. I'ma pour it on
So many
myself.
like in between frames that like you're like just let it pass, just real quick, frame gone.
Yeah.
I love that.
A lot of what I do is not tricking people, but guiding them where to look. So things like frames are the way you can be like, hey, look, audience that doesn't understand dance, look over here.
Yeah.
And like,
I came here to drop some money. Dropping all my money. Drop some money. Everyone silent. Listen to my money
Okay,
talk.
I need to know about that part. Again, I laughed really hard at that part because shut up.
Yeah.
like what? How did that come to be?
Yeah, there's a moment that actually similar, Money, that we did for Jennifer Lopez for Dinero, which she says like, "Cállate la boca, let me finish." We did something similar in a performance where she like tells a dancer to like sit down. So I was like, I want to like kind of reference that, and it'll work really well in this sense. It's about money as well. She's saying everyone's silent. You don't really get that much in K-pop of like interacting with one dancer.
Yeah.
So I think it like breaks
it was
the
a
fourth
surprise
wall a little
for me,
bit,
so.
and it's like, oh, okay, and then they carry on.
I love that.
She's so fierce.
Yeah, I love the milk, I love the fast slow, and I love the low level. Something about this, I don't really see it very often. I guess it's like, I don't know, such a dynamic milk using formations. I feel like normally you're seeing people all move in the same way, or you see a lot of even symmetrical things, so I do enjoy the asymmetry here. There's a line, let's go. Hey!
I think what straight lines like this, especially like recently in like Crew World and stuff, have been done like so much. Like everyone stands in a line and does the hip drum and does the padding down the back and all of that. So I think the groove kind of took us there, and then it's about like, yeah, just framing it in a nice way. And this one was hard to get, I remember, because it felt a little uncoordinated at first, but then we found it with that little bounce. This was all new to me when the song came out. Like the vision I got was this whole dance break was all instrumental. My dance break was, I guess, really different because it was all to the instrumental because we had no words. So then it came out and it was my money moves, and I was like, oh, whoa, what is this?
I see, interesting.
So this was the first time I think I had like choreographed for a new group. So STAYC were like debuting, just a little bit more abstract of movement for them. It was kind of cool to make.
Yeah. Hey. Oh, it's like drum and bass music, just a little bit slower. I noticed so many like tuts. Is that like the voguing whacking? Like, is that?
I love tutting, and that's like a strong subgenre that I love in voguing as well. Framing,
It looks good.
all of this.
It's something I think a lot of artists can get behind. Like that makes sense, as opposed to like me being, I don't know, like trying to do all these other crazy things.
Yeah.
Oh, power move. Whoa. With her voice too. That's cool.
Yeah. There's not many like low,
I
like
like
alto
it.
singers in K-pop, so it's.
Oh, I like her voice.
I think two of them have got quite low voices that are really cool.
Oh, that's awesome. Here. Hey. Nice, good repeat. What are some of your favorite ways to get up from the ground?
I hate getting up from the ground.
I see the pose that you like to hit with that knee and leg.
Well, because
but-
if you go any lower, it's like a whole situation to try and get up. So I avoid it. And a lot of the artists actually request no floor choreography.
Yeah.
It's great for the contrast. Contrast is like the way that you can trick an audience to be impressed. Like high and low and strong and slow. So it's great for levels.
Jolin, Tsai, Play, dance version. You were how old when you made this?
I was 18. This was like my first kind of solo job, and we still work very, very, very closely together to this day. She's kind of the reason that I do everything that I do. It was through Jolin that I made the connection with J-Lo to then make the connection with Blackpink, and it's all Jolin. So I owe like my whole career to her. So she's amazing.
Oh, this feels crazy already. Oh! I wasn't expecting it. Especially in those cocktail dresses, I was not expecting this full one.
And Jolin's a legend.
It's interesting because it's like it's just all in one place, at least as of right now. I don't know if it changes.
Got it.
I'm so used to K-pop now, there's just like you were talking off camera, sensory overload.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting to see like, we're doing this in one place, we're letting the dance be the dance, and performing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've reformatted and like restaged this song and like changed the choreography probably like 30 times.
Really?
In different like performances and tours, and
develop a deeper relationship then.
Yeah, with the number.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
correct things that like I don't like when I come back to it a
Yeah.
couple of years later. And I guess this was a little bit more before the choreography era of like K-pop. It was nice to have those like stage PC moments before we get to the era we're in now with K-pop, where like every single move is so crisp and choreographed, and so it was nice to like have these big performing moments, you know. There's a little, this was a reference, I guess, to the stuff that we were doing back in the day with Royal Family. Paris Goebel is like known for subtle sections. They did like the whole like, interestingly called play, they did the whole like slow-mo thing with the crest, and we'd do these like outro sections where it's just like these little movements, and she really wanted something like that. So it's important to have the performance aspect, and she's such a great star that she can.
Yeah. Kyle, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Just talking about so many things I wouldn't have known, a lot of these little details.
Sure, I mean, if you look at like, I don't know, an author or producers, like they do like interviews on like how they created something or how they wrote it, but you don't really get to dance as more, seen as more supplementative. So it's nice to, dig into it and let people know like the process and stuff. Yeah.
Not on STEEZY, it's not supplementative on STEEZY. This is the highlight. Dance is important, dancers matter, and dance should be in the front.
For sure.
I believe.
Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to STEEZY's channel.
And you can actually take Kyle's classes on STEEZY Studio. Download it, take classes, enjoy dance, and we'll see you in the next one. And don't forget to comment who you want to see in the next ones. Okay, thank you, bye-bye, love you guys.